Hi, thank you for joining me today for day 18 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life. And today's sketch has been created by Peace Craft Love, that's Anna Veach. And I've chosen to turn the sketch through 90 degrees to fit my photos. So these are photos of my son on his little ride along when he was 2. Really cute series of photos. And I'm following the sketch relatively closely. I'm creating lots of ink splatters all over my white cardstock using this Villainous Potion Distress Oxide spray just to bring in the purple from the ride along that he's on. And I'm using Heart Eyes collection from Simple Stories. It's the nest box that Jackie Ashton and I put together, and we've got a class going online, so have a look at Hey Little Magpie if you're interested in that. So as you can see, I've just watered that down slightly and added my blobs, and now I'm going to go ahead and put some splatters all around those blobs to create the ink splodges that Anna's got on her sketch there. So just adding a bit more of my ink and then creating these splatters. And not being too careful because I want the messy look, and it's perfect because I don't know whether you can see from the photos when I bring them in, but the patio is all wet where they've had their paddling pool out and all sorts. It was a lovely sunny day and they were playing about in the garden. So just using a paintbrush now to add some smaller splatters all the way around. And this will create the background. Now, I've got to admit, I had this printed out on a PDF that was kindly provided for us, and I didn't actually see that there was a pattern paper underneath the photos on the original sketch. I really should have looked at it online before I started. So I've just created my background using the white cardstock and the ink rather than adding some pattern paper as well. But I do like the way it turned out in the end. So now I'm coming in with black soot and creating those rings that Anna has all over the sketch. So first of all, using the lid of my ink and just creating some bigger rings all over these parts. And then I shall come in with a pen lid now and create some slightly smaller ring marks. And just dipping it in the paint and then all the ink and then adding it to the cardstock. So while I'm doing this, please don't forget to check the description box down below to see everybody else who's playing along with this lovely hop. Can't believe it's day 18 already. There are some fabulous creatives joining in, and every day more videos are added, so keep going back to that playlist and seeing what's happening. So now I'm bringing the photos back in and matting them onto white cardstock before matting them onto some papers. So just cutting each one out as I go. And now you can see those photos again. So this Heart Eyes collection is a really good one to use with these photos because of the bright colours. And these were all 4x6 photos that I've trimmed down. I'm just looking for my ruler. So the largest one is still 4x6. The one that's going to go in the middle of the layout is just over 3 inches by 4 inches. And I think the other one is 3x4 as well. Yep, just over 3 inches and just over 4 inches for the bottom photo. So that one I'm cutting out now is the middle one. So just checking the positioning while that ink splatter properly dries, and then I'll come in with the papers that I've chosen to mat these photos onto. First of all, this stripy paper, and while I got it out, I decided that it would be really nice to add a tiny strip to the top and bottom of the page. You can see on Anna's sketch there's a tiny line of black on the left hand side and the right hand side, which transposes to top and bottom because I've turned it through 90 degrees. So I decided to add those. So you saw me just cutting off 1/2 centimetre slips, so very, very thin slivers of paper to add to the top and bottom of the page, which I'll do in a minute. So first of all, that stripy piece. Then I'm coming in with this red, because obviously there's some red on James's top and also in the bottom photo. So just trimming that down to size. And finally this big picture. And I chop and change about which side of this paper to use for this one. There's this beautiful powder blue which works nicely with James's t-shirt. On the other side there's some orange, and there's some orange on his ride along. So I sort of flipped and flopped, but in the end it does stick to the blue. So here are those very thin slivers that I said of paper that I'm going to add to the top and bottom of the page. And because there's no other pattern paper other than the mats, this really adds something to the base cardstock. It's amazing what a tiny piece of paper can do to lift things. So just gluing those down with my wet glue, because they are, as I say, they're only 1/2 centimetre wide, so they're very slim. And now I can start building up my layers. So again, just checking the positioning of exactly how I want the photos to go, and then I'll have to stick those mats down. And that's where I flop back to the blue as the mat for this large photo. Keeping the stripy on that one and the red on this one. And again, just checking that everything's how I want it. Now this is the title that I've chosen. I wanted to use the foam stickers, You're My Favourite, and then I'm using these Abigail Doodlebug stickers, which are new to the Little Magpie shop, in black, to add the words Ride Along. I don't know about you, but I really struggle with stickers that say You're My Favourite when I've got 2 children. It's so hard, and even when Amelia saw this layout, she said, do you prefer going in the car with James over me then? Because she thought the ride along meant going out for a ride with him. So I had to explain that it was his little Winnie the Pooh thing that he was on. Children get so jealous, don't they? So adding Ride Along makes this title make more sense to me, and it works in my albums. So happy with that positioning. So now just quickly distressing the edges of all the photo mats using my Tim Holtz edge distresser, and then I should pop those down. Once again, covering a lot of the mixed media that I've added. So there we have it, just sticking everything down now. And I positioned that top photo and then glued the bottom photo down first of all, just so that I could get the positioning absolutely right, because I wanted to have a gap at the top and the bottom of the photos. So just overlapping them more or less as Anna has them in the sketch up there. And then I decide that that third photo should probably be mounted up onto foam, because the other 2 are flat on the page. I wanted to show the difference between the 3, so this one's going up onto foam. I'm much happier with that. So now I'm going to start embellishing around the photos. So first of all, I bring in this Flair badge from A Little Magpie that just says I Love Us, and these were designed to go with this collection. And then one of the Ellie Studio stamped labels in red, and the little face sticker from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So just sticking those down. And I love that little cluster there at the bottom, just creating a little bit of interest there. Next, I'm going to come in with one of the wooden buttons that Jackie Ashton put in the nest box kit, the Heart Eyes nest box kit, and just threading the pink thread that was also in that kit through and tying a knot at the front. And that just adds a bit of something between the middle and top photo there. So now having a look on this 12 by 12 sticker sheet to see what else there is, and I see this little cluster of plus signs which I liked, so I added that at the bottom, and now coming in with my journaling. And my journaling just reads, gosh, how you love this Winnie the Pooh ride along. The seat lifted up, and that's where you would store all of your most treasured possessions. And then I just hand wrote the date after that. I think I did that after I'd finished the layout. So now just coming in with some of the sequins that were in the kit and adding those for a bit of sparkle. Just dotted around the page. There are pinks, oranges and blues, and they look really pretty. And then bringing in the Nouveau Crystal Drops in Ebony Black, just to bring in a bit more of that black that I've already got in the rings around the ink splatters. And when I've done this, I still feel like it needs something else. So I come in with my gold watercolour paint and add some gold splatters to those inked splat bits. And I love bringing in that gold. It adds a little bit of brightness to the layout, and because there's plenty of yellow in the photos as well, it works really nicely. Just using my brush to dot where I didn't get splatters first time round. Adding more and more, as is me. And then I decide that I want a few more embellishments to go around the photos. So this is a ticket strip that I've cut from the pattern paper, and some hearts that I've cut from the pattern paper, along with another one of those heart eyes. I think that's from the ephemera pack. There, the little face with the heart eyes. So just gluing all this down in place, and that really lifts the layout, brings a lot more colour in. So I'm pleased that I went back and added some more embellishments around. Just gluing everything down with my wet glue for ease. This is another one of those clusters of pluses that was in the ephemera pack. So just pop that at the top in between those Nouveau crystal drops. And another heart that I end up popping up on foam pads, again just to add a bit of dimension. This was one of the ones that I'd hand fussy cut from the pattern papers as well. And one more heart at the bottom there. And I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed my layout for day 18, and I shall see you tomorrow for day 19. Thanks again. Bye.